Trickish wishes. One of these bodies of land was called Hewleys. It is in its history that the vast land of Hewleys had 8 big ancient cities accompanied by 1,000 smaller cities and villages. King Guts along with his queen Rihanna ruled over this territory from a castle in Wargrass. King Guts was a relatively short man with a partly long hair and a short beard, always with a crown on his head, spending most of his time in gardens and harems. But Queen Rihanna was a tremendously beautiful and elegant lady with blonde hair, white skin, and large blue eyes. The king and his people had a good relationship with the gods. They built them various temples and shrines and believed that the god of gods Godger roamed the skies as a graceful peacock and watches them, and that is why peacocks are sacred to the people of Hewleys. On the 7th day of each month some people, while in grand and beauteous temples, would sacrifice a cow to the gods, for priests then to cook porridge with meat and dispense it amongst those god worshippers present in the temple. But the beautiful Queen of Hewleys, away from all political, religious, and governmental ruckus, escorted by her maid of honor and friend Sanso, spent most of her time either in the palace's gardens or in the ponds inside Wargrass's beautiful gardens, and would swim naked, out of sight, where no man was present. It has been a while since she noticed an elegant peacock. It would land at the edge of the pond whenever she lay foot there. The arrival of the peacock and it gazing at her seemed to be part of the daily quotidian routine taking place behind the pond, as if the peacock's unwavering gaze meant he was already in love with the beautiful queen. Not until one day in autumn, the more than ever beautiful Queen Rihanna, with her blonde braided hair while wearing a close-fitting leather-made shirt and pants along with a long black cape, riding Jordan, her beautiful horse, accompanied with her 2 guards, left the castle for the forest of Wargrass. After 2 hours of horse riding they arrived at the amazing forest of Wargrass. They enter the forest whilst high pine tree hid the sun behind them, and the queen, so absorbed in the scenery, cut her way through deeper into the forest, enchanted by the sporadic crows, grazing gazelles, valleys enslaved in mist, beautiful and majestic waterfalls falling into deep valleys, the occasional songs of nightingales, and most beautiful of all, the glamour of the peacock flying up above them, irresistibly dragged the queen more and more into the depth of the forest. Amidst the path the queen pulled at the reins a second while she was lost watching the waterfall of Vigo, when suddenly out of nowhere a couple of snakes appeared and started crawling right in front of the horses, only for them to shy away. Jordan put his 4 legs up in the air and neighed. The queen kept a strong pull at the reins when suddenly they got torn apart, with the queen holding tight to Jordan's neck. He raced insanely deep into the forest. Then a few minutes later, when trying to jump over a huge trunk, the queen fell off the horse to land immensely on the ground. The queen was passing out when she felt someone coming her way, so with a faint voice she called for help. The man picked her up, and while she was being held in his hand the queen fainted promptly. The end of the first episode of The Game of the Rings.